My intros are cringy. I don't even intro. Uh, it's with a heavy heart that I gotta say that the Battlefield beta is closing off. Not today, but tomorrow. I will say I will miss this game until it comes out. I'm gonna actually. I was talking to myself, not in a weird way, yesterday. Um, well, anyway, talk to yourself is kind of weird, but just in a non crazy man way. And I realized that because of this beta, I now need to find some sort of thing, like some sort of game, to occupy what this game has created in my soul, I guess. Like this game is fucking amazing to me. It's absolutely fun. So much, just absolutely so much fun to play. And I'm gonna leave my opinion on this game in a few moments, but I I'm now looking around at other games that don't provide nearly as much fun as this one to me. And I'm lost. I don't know what to play. I've been going back to War Thunder, and that I haven't played in a long time because I actually don't know. But I've been going back to that because this game has caused so much of a World War II, like, it started back up my World War II tank loving and plane loving, infantry loving self, like in the game perspective, not in the actual war perspective. I do go kind of nerdy when it comes to the actual war, but I do feel sad about what happened. But in the game perspective, it's caused so much joy that now I'm turning to War Thunder to fill what that joy has done and will soon leave until November 20th, or actually a few days before, because I did get the deluxe because I knew I'd love this game. But fucking music. But War Thunder's turned me down so many times with how much realism it's gotten. I love the realism in the game. It's just that holy crap, it gets annoying when you get one shot so often. It's still fun though. War Thunder's an amazingly developed game. Just I'm starting off Russia, so I have to deal with Germans in their squeeze barrels, so it's annoying. I will stream that probably later. But yeah, you can see my opinion on this game is going to be valid because I give each class quite some attention. Granted, 6 and 7s aren't that high actually. You can get this very easily. I say I ranked up my class every couple games because of how well I did and how much I did. And then, well, you can see I put a little bit more emphasis on the Tiger than anything else. I did just recently max out the tech tree on this, and I do like the specialization tree, what it's done. It's pretty cool. Anyway. I don't think anybody wants to stare at the main menu any longer, so I'll just drop my opinion as this game gets slowly louder, so I'm shouting louder because I can barely hear anything over myself. Alright, it's fading a little bit quieter now. Sorry if I got extremely loud, but the game got loud in my ears, so... I will honestly I will miss this beta. And I am extremely excited for what the full game offers. Regardless of what I say and do in the upcoming gameplay, my honest, unbiased opinion is that medics are just as bullshit as they are in Battlefield 1. So if how often you would be skipped on a revive when it came to medics, then... I'll get used to it, buddy, because it's coming back. It's not as often. I have noticed medics are a lot more paying attention And I think it might be because of what happened in Battlefield 1 with medics literally just completely ignoring you. But I think that's more because now you don't have the option of carrying a syringe. You will always be able to revive allies. And I do believe that some medics didn't put enough emphasis on revival and healing as they did in Battlefield 1 as they can right now. And I'm trying to spawn in this tank so bad. I want to play around. Actually, I want to play around with my Tiger one. Nope, my tank. I have noticed that it does take a little while for me to be able to spawn this. I don't know the exact amount of time, but medics won't revive sometimes, but they have no excuse not to. There is no syringe right now. You can just be revived. That is a tank.
We have now taken
Why can't I spawn in a tank? No smoke moves like that. There we go. But actually, hang on. While I do this, I'm going to turn down my game chat to party chat volume. Alright, anyway, but assaults, the assault class I didn't play with too much, but I do feel as though the STG is a little bit overused. But whatever. I mean, not a lot of people have time to go through and completely unlock, like, level up their thing in order to unlock what was it called? Excuse me. In order to actually unlock the actual guns. Because it's... The one issue with the beta right now is that it doesn't tell you how you get the weapons. And it's like, it does tell you, but it's not as apparent as it may be, like it could be. I'm not saying it should be that apparent, but it sure as hell is really quiet. Hey, now that's not very nice. You get over here, I'm gonna kick your ass. Thank you. Now, let's see, what else would I like to say? I'm just gonna go through all the classes. The assault, really, it's a pain in the ass because I love tanks. I drive these tanks a lot, so I run into assault classes a lot, and they get annoying. But that does mean, though, that assaults are doing their job when it comes to anti-tanks. I will say, though, that the Panzerfaust isn't the best choice. I think the sticky mines, as a tank driver, I think the sticky mines are a lot more annoying than the actual Panzerfaust, but the Panzerfaust does deliver a long-range shot, whereas obviously the sticky mines need to be deployed right head-on. But you're a lot safer up close than you think. Like, you're actually pretty safe when up close. Oh wait, I just realized that guy had already placed an order.
Be aware that we have lost objective Emil.
Now, that just may be because how bad I am actually driving a tank, but I don't consider myself to be too bad of a tank driver. Hey! So, support is not a bad class, especially considering they're forced to have an ammo pouch. So no matter what, you will always have a support that can deliver ammo. Also, which I do find nice about the medic as well, is that they are forced to have a medic pouch. Right now, at least, they're forced to have one. I just realized that I'm standing in front of a Pack 39 or a Pack 38. So if someone were to rush it and get on it, I would be screwed, because the packs are actually a really good, effective way to take out a Tiger tank. I remember it does about 40 damage when you're shooting at the rear of the tank near the engine, and at the rear of the tank at like where the
Good
blip
job.
on
We
the
have
hey
objective data.
sticky mine bitch. All right, but supports are
Show objective
not
Alpha
as like the medic not the medic the medic box is useful and the ammo box is also useful, and that's an actual tank. Oh no, that's a pack gun. I didn't know. Silly me. But those are very useful when it comes to squad play. And I will say, in my opinion, the most balanced squad is one actually without a recon class. If you were to have a squad without a recon class,
We are losing objective data.
then what you would have is a squad with hopefully a medic,
Objective Taser.
oh shit, the ammunition guy, a support. I keep forgetting that name for some reason. A support and
We
a
have taken objective Emil. Good job.
what was it? And two, not a, and two assault classes. That, in my opinion, is the balanced class. It is very good at anti-tanks because of the support resupplying the assault class with those anti-tank shots, so that will become very useful and very important. Now, recon is useful in certain senses, so it's not like it's entirely useless, but it shouldn't be a top priority for any squad. Oh, it's a pack 40. Silly me. You don't see me, mister!
Be alert. Objective Taser has been lost.
But speaking of the recon class, I do like how there is no spotting in the game. The only type of spotting is when you have a recon class aim their little binoculars at a person. That is the only time you can actually spot someone in this game. Like such. You highlight over the enemy and it will put a tag over them. As you can see right there, there's now a little symbol. Because of the distance, it's going to be very small. Now, that symbol is the symbol of the tank class, or the tanker class. And he skipped his revive, so I can't revive him. But another, I do find it funny. The recon class needs ammunition, because if you're not a good shot, and even if you are, you can only kill 20 people maximum with the standard rifle, because the classes, all of them, don't spawn with max ammunition. That's something that that people need to get drilled in their head, because some people apparently don't realize it. You don't spawn with maximum ammunition. I wonder if I can do this. It's not very nice, mister. I'm gonna hide in this hole. But, wow. The recon classes can be useful for long-range engagements, so, you know, it's nice. But so can any other class. I mean, the assault class does have certain DMRs, or rather, semi-auto rifles to be exact. Now, that does not save you, granted, from certain things. Like, those semi-auto rifles can be quite strong at a distance, because they can be equipped with a medium and long-range scope, which can be devastating when you're going and rushing a point. That's another reason why the recon class is not as useful as people think, because you can always equip a scope on your ship. So recon class isn't that useful aside from taking out long-range targets with high damage. Now, the thing about having a recon class is that their rifles have a long-range scope. Well, they are equipped, I do believe, on a normal basis with a medium scope. So that's not necessarily a true statement. But they do a lot more damage than a standard semi-auto rifle. Because the semi-auto rifle is somewhere between 30 and 40 damage. I like the Gewehr, I do believe that's how it's pronounced. I'm not 100% sure because it's German. I don't speak a lot of German. Versus this gun, the Lee Enfield, that does 50 to 60 damage and instantly one-hit headshots any enemy, rather than literally any other fucking gun that does not one-hit headshot. The Kar 98 does one-hit headshot, I do believe. I haven't actually used it, so I can't be 100% sure, but it does more damage, I do believe, than this Lee Enfield, and even if it doesn't, it won't be doing any less. So, oh damn. So it's not going to be a weak gun, certainly. Another thing, though, is that for recon classes, it's not exactly apparent unless you're really looking at it, but there is actually a DMR in the game right now, and it's the second weapon for the recon class. I haven't used it that much, so I don't know exactly what it's called. Fuck you! Yeah, but that's just like my 2 cents on the game, infantry-wise. It's a great game. It's not too terribly unbalanced. It's actually pretty decently balanced. I don't see any unbalancing in the game, is what I mean. I'm trying to hit shots. Enemy armored convoy. Oh shit, nades. What's up, bitch? The pistols are OP in the game. I will say that right now. That makes recon classes really deadly, though. The pistols are extremely strong in this game. Rightfully so, I suppose. I mean, they're not supposed to be underpowering, but they should be extremely OP. Would you fucking let me spawn on you? You're getting shot in the ass. Watch this. I thought I swapped to my pistol. Damn it. Yeah. As far as it goes with tanks aren't too terribly unbalanced. They actually are pretty easy to take out. Simply for dynamite. I think 3 or 4 the Panzerfaust 100 shots, both assault class weapons, would take out a tank. Whereas I don't know how much it would be in Battlefield 1 because I haven't played that game in a long time. That was depressing to say. I will say medics are actually used a lot more because they are equipped with SMGs, so it is a lot more appealing to be a medic. Kill him.
We've taken objective Anton.
Pick me up. This is the issue. Another thing people need to learn is that you can revive if it's within your squad, no matter who you are. Some people don't realize that, or they do realize that and they're douchebags and they don't revive teammates, which is equally unacceptable in my opinion. So, ow. Shit, ladder. There we go.
We have
Yeah.
now taken objective Beta.
That's that though. No class is too overpowered in my opinion, even though the assault class does start off with the STG, and that means anybody can get the STG and go ham with it because it is a very good weapon. Anybody in any other class that knows how to play the game or even doesn't and just gets a lucky if you don't know how to play the game, or if you're skilled you just know how to take shots, you should be able to take out even the most no scope, even the most annoying people. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem for skilled people to be spammed with non-skilled STG spammers, because those can get annoying. I'm just waiting for them to find me. Oh shit, I think they just found me. Yeah. No.
Objective Anton is lost.
Tanks, again, they're not too overpowered. Planes are interesting to fly, actually. It does kind of remind me, because for some reason my War Thunder settings got all fucked up. And I tried to fly a plane and drive my tank, and for some reason the settings were really fucked up so that the controls are all whack. So it was kind of hard to do in that sense. But stab! Shit. But it, like, one of the things is that the rear rudder could be controlled by left or right on the joystick, and then, you know, up and down controlling with the left joystick like normal, and then barrel rolls like normal. At first it was barrel rolls on the left joystick, left and right, and that felt very weird to me, so I reset it. And then I eventually, through trial and error, hard reset my entire fucking control scheme for War Thunder. And one of my friends is deciding to give it a go because he played Battlefield 5 and was complaining a little bit about realism, like hit points and whatnot, and he liked flying planes and driving tanks, but he never really got that much of a chance in this game. And considering the game's going out of beta soon, I said, why don't you try out War Thunder, considering, you know, it's a very common aspect in War Thunder is to do those actions, considering that's what the game is. So I'm probably going to make a tutorial video. Mostly for him, but for anybody else as well that would like to know how to set up their controls and whatnot, because it is not an easy concept to at first understand. So keep an eye out for that video if you're interested. I can't promise any date, of course, because, well, I just don't know.
We have taken objective Caesar.
Now,
Beware, we have lost objective Anton.
Back to what I was thinking. Planes are controlled up, down to move the plane up and down. I do down to pull up to push down, because inverted flight controls, I suppose, is what it's considered. They're more common. That's how I do believe planes actually are flown, and I just simply cannot. Okay, I guess I'm now squad leader.
Achtung, verteidigt das Ziel dort.
Oh, that's a crocodile. Fucking, that's gonna be an issue to take out. We don't have any. No, we don't have any emplacements around.
Ich brauche mehr Munition.
Oh shit. But up down for the up and down aspect. Left and right on the left joystick actually controls the what was it? The rear rudder. Left and right, to turn it left and right. So it is helpful. Wait, was it? No, it's the right joystick up and down to control left and the up and down. the up and down on the left joystick is throttle. So it is helpful, again, like I was trying to say before I remembered how to actually do it, it is helpful to have, what was it called? Those on different joysticks, and it does help to have the, hold on, the actual rear rudder control, because now you can take tighter turns, easier turns, and it's helpful for you. Like, it's helpful for players. Not gonna get down? Okay, I'll just take you out. But planes, again, aren't too unbalanced. I like the feature with the Junkers that there is no bomber camera. They did hold true to that, but some people don't realize how to actually use the Junkers, so they'll just go straight over and actually miss their bombs. Because the Junkers, or Stuka as people call it as well, the Ju-87s, the Ju-88s, those are dive bomber planes, so people don't realize in order to actually properly use them, you do actually need to dive on your opponent. So that's just a fun little feature I realized nobody fucking knew, so
Wir brauchen sofort einen Sturmtiger.
it's nice to know.
In Ordnung. Wir schicken euch das Fahrzeug sofort.
And I control tanks, my tank. All the other tanks ready too. Nice to know that after I called in the Sturmtiger. I do like how squads are 4 players now. It does help a little bit. I mean, 5-player squads are not bad, and they're also not annoying. Would you like to get in, sir? Would you like to get in, or are you using me as, he's using me as cover? Alright.
We've now lost objective Alpha.
Well, advance with me if you want. What the? If you want me to if you want to use me as cover. Overall, really, I don't think anything is too unbalanced in this game. At least right now. The crocodile, or the flamethrower tank, I forgot what the specific class was. I think it might be just a variant of the 7, but I don't know. It's a little underpowered in comparison to this. Granted, that one does have a fully rotational turret. This thing has a fixed turret that is a very fixed. Oh well, that's just abuse. That's abuse. Oh my, my body's hanging there. A few in-game features that are new to Battlefield, as far as I'm aware. The explosion knockback, the advanced combat movement. I would like to say a few things about them. The explosive knockback is not really apparent for 2 reasons. One, the only time I've ever noticed the explosive knockback is with the JB2 rocket. That's the only time I've ever seen the explosive knockback actually in play. So I can say that, as far as I'm aware, the only time you will be knocked back is, well, according to what we currently have in this game right now, is when that JB2 rocket does land. Now, another thing to remember is that JB2 rocket is a fucking nuke. That thing will kill anything in the AO within certain reason. I mean, of course, there's going to be the issue that, like, for instance, if a JB2 rocket was called right now on top
We have now
of
taken objective
Echo,
Anton.
what's going to happen is that anything or anyone that's in Echo up top is going to be killed. Now, if you're downstairs, for some reason, the explosive knockback system registers you within the blast radius, but not to take damage or to be
We are losing objective Iliad.
killed in any sort of way, so I suppose that does connect with the non-taking of damage. Ow, fucker. So what it does is that, for instance, yesterday, actually, not a few days ago, I was stuck back here trying to defend this area because this down bridge, the under part of the bridgehead, is actually not very well known amongst people. Recently, people have figured out that it exists because you've got people who will literally just sit down there, and that's where they will capture the Echo. So you got several squads spawning in down there
Good job,
and
objective
using
Caesar is
it
ours.
as the capture area. So it's difficult to secure when you've got people doing that for that reason. So I was defending the area from people that were coming from over here, and I was over there. And what happened was simply...
We are losing objective
Ooh.
Iliad.
Oh, rushing. Okay. Simply that it was difficult because JB2 rocket came in, killing everybody that was up top. And I was knocked back, and I was below the explosion. I don't study the
Good work. Objective Anton taken.
explosives, like the studying of explosives. I don't do that.
Das Ziel dort. Nehmt es ein.
So it is difficult to say whether or not that's an actual attribute to an explosion, whether or not that would actually happen. But it is confirmed that in the beta it is here. They are testing it out, how it's gonna work. Fucking pistol. Nope. Fuck. I knew he was there. Damn it. But the advanced combat movement with the rolls and shit. The thing is that it is actually there, but on your screen it doesn't happen. I would like to see that changed. I would actually like to see myself do barrel rolls for the screen to follow the rolling action. Ah, too bad. Andy's dead anyway. But
Los! Verteidigt das Ziel dort.
oh shit.
Be aware that we have lost objective Caesar.
I lost my train of thought. I have no clue what I was just talking about.
Vorsicht! Panzer!
Shit. I would like to see, if it is possible, the limitation of weapons to a country. So right now we're fighting as Germany. I'd like to see the fact that you can't use British weapons or American weapons as a German soldier. But there is going to be a few issues with that, I'm sure, so I don't expect to see it at all. There can be barbed wire, you gotta be in a support class. Yeah, which speaking of,
Iliad is now ours.
the things like barbed wire cannot be built by common soldiers, along with MG emplacements. Those can only be built by
We have lost
the
objective
support class. So just because there's nothing to build, that doesn't mean that as soon as you turn into a support class, that there won't be anything to build. Die, bitch!
Objective Dora is now ours, soldiers.
So that is something that people don't entirely realize, but some people do. I'm just saying in general, I haven't noticed a lot of people realizing that that is something you can do. But then again, that might just be from the lack of the proper class. Like, not a lot of people may use the support class. Now, I will say, I'm going to be grinding this game a little bit so I can try out the Kar 98K, and so I can try out the MP40 for reasons of I run a German milsim on PS4. If you would like to join, you can request it. I don't discriminate in any sort of way unless you get annoying, but as long as you follow orders, you join, and we're good. I don't... Like, if you're fucking 11 years old, people probably won't like your presence, but that doesn't mean you can't fucking join.
Well done. We have taken objective Anton.
Okay. Had to be weird there for a moment. Ow, I killed myself. Another feature is shooting through the walls with high caliber bullets. I have noticed it.
We have lost objective
It's
India.
not a rumor, it is actually going to be in the game. Well, as long as they don't change and remove it. But it is in the game. I have done damage through sandbags and walls alike. So it's not a feature that you see in the trailers that doesn't actually come out with the game. It is a feature in the game. Some people, well, it's not some people, just sometimes
We now have objective Alien.
people don't realize that certain things in trailers are just for show, while certain things in trailers will be in the game. But
We have taken objective Bata.
the building is restricted to certain zones, as you might notice that those right there. That little thing right there is a build zone. You can't build out of the zone, and you cannot build anything you'd like in that zone. It is a strict system with limitations to what and where you can build. So it's not going to turn into a Fortnite game, as some people have described it. So if you don't like Fortnite's building, even if you do like the game Fortnite and you don't like the building mechanic in general, you don't need to worry about that. That's not going to happen. You just get annoying little sandbags like that. Just get in your way. You can still get over them. No, so not much of a fucking deal,
We've taken
really.
objective Caesar, soldiers.
There is a way to actually destroy the JB2 bomb. If it is, of course, an enemy.
We won.
Bomb.
Objective Emil has been lost.
Something, though, is that you should be able to I think it's going to be in hardcore, which I'm going to be playing a lot because it just seems right. Hardcore mode should have the JB2 bomb knocking back, at least knocking back your own allies. Maybe not, I mean, like, not damaging them, because that can get annoying. Wow, I was revived without even... What is this thing? Oh, it's the stem with the fucking special boy scope. Ow. Revived me. Nope. Oh, yep. Pow. Oh, critical death. Wait, what? Now, what the fuck happened? There is a few bugs here and there. I'm sure those bugs will be gotten rid of by the end of the game. But soldier customization and vehicle customization are not apparent to me. There is a way to do them. If there isn't right now, obviously there isn't.
Objective Caesar is now ours.
My fucking controller disconnected. Oh, fuck off, and it glitched. Okay. Whatever. Wow. Whoa, I am glitched. It says I'm still in the White House. Okay. That's... Oh, no, that's not good. Oh, no. Fuck you, kid. I can't spawn. Some bullshit. Oh, come on. I have to quit then. I mean, there's no way around it. I have to quit because I glitched. I will say, game's stunning. Absolutely. All aspects, to me, right now, this game is stunning. Not just picture-wise. That's why I said in all aspects, the game is stunning. I'm getting annoyed by that little circle. I have completed the Shock Troops event. I wish the... What was it called? The Battle Royale. Maybe just for a day or two for it to be out on the beta. Well, a day, really, now. No, I don't want to play Conquest. I want to play Grand Operations. Just for people to try it out. Because Black Ops 4 is doing it, but of course it's in a closed beta, so nobody without glitching or buying the game can try it, which I think is a terrible way of advertising your game. Call of Duty is about as stubborn as PlayStation. Oh, fucking hell. Don't fucking bullshit me. I want to see if there is actually a way to... No, change appearance is there. It is there, but you can't do it. Along with changing that right there is not available to be changed. Anti-tank mine is what... Oh, okay, that's what it is. Anti-tank mines are actually pretty effective against enemy units. I do have fun with sticky dynamite because you can, well, blow shit up. Aha. I do like how the tech tree is working right now. It's an unbalanced and unfair scenario. This thing's got the fire rate almost of the STG. Like just about 100 fire rate points lower. 150 actually. Fire rate. It's actually exactly 150 fire rate points lower. But it's semi-auto. That is a much slower weapon. But yep, game glitched on me. Oh shit. Maybe if I create a squad. Oh shit. Nope, I broke the game. I broke the game, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, bugs like that. I've never run into this little bug. Fuck. Manual join, please. Maybe I can manually join. Why is there a Japan server available to me? Why would you even give me that Japan server? Players ping. That should give me this. Server info, maybe. Join. No. Won't let me. Shit. Well, you know what that means. I can't play anymore. So that means that's the end of the stream, basically. Really, I'm gonna miss this game when it is off beta. I actually will miss it because it is just such a good game. If I haven't said it so much that you believe me, then fucking just believe me. I love this game so far. I'm getting the feeling of Titanfall 2. Not in the marketing standpoint, I'm saying player-wise. I'm getting a feeling of Titanfall 2. And for those that don't know, I love Titanfall 2. It is the only game that I've actually done a happy 1-year anniversary, I do believe. I'm not sure if I've done it for any other game, but I do know I did it for Titanfall 2, and I decided one of the most painful decisions in my gaming history is to play it on Master Mode, which is the equivalent of you're fucked. I can't remember what the mode would be for any other Call of Duty game, so I can't convey the mode, but it's the hardest game mode. Supposedly only 2.1% of players have completed that actual game mode that have owned the game. But that could be just for the fact that nobody really plays the campaign, or if people who have might get stuck in certain areas or quit after certain areas and not go back to it. But if you haven't played Titanfall 2's campaign, I recommend it. Another campaign I actually recommend, surprisingly, you probably haven't heard this any other way in a positive tone, is Infinite Warfare. That campaign actually is pretty fucking good. I don't mind it. I played it on every fucking difficulty because my internet went down. I do believe I was halfway through Specialist mode, which is holy crap hard. Like, you need to know what you're doing if you're doing Specialist mode. But other than that, I'm getting the vibe from Titanfall 2. I loved that game so much. I still play it to this day. It's one of my stress relief games, ironically, because it does piss me off. Actually, no. I think I can only remember one time that game's pissed me off, and that would be during the Master campaign. I spent 5 hours on that campaign, going through the entire thing. Holy crap. But I loved that game. I still have it installed. It's almost 2 years old now, and the player count is almost gone, and I really am sad about that because it deserved so much more players than it had and what it has now, because the game was ruined by previous games, the original Titanfall game, and then marketing for this one was either lackluster or just another Titanfall game. Great. This one's going to be just as bad. I will say, just like open betas, they got me into Titanfall 2. I never played Titanfall 1. I played Titanfall 2's open beta, and, well, technically tech test is how they called it. But I loved it. And the same thing is happening here with Battlefield 5. I'm loving the game so far. Even with the limited amount of weapons that they have available, they just have so much. Another feature I do like is the fact that it's not light tank, medium tank, heavy tank, because that's not actually true. This is a medium tank, Valentine Mark 8. This is a heavy tank, Churchill Mark 7. And this is a tank destroyer, Churchill gun carrier. It's got a 3-pounder gun. I know this. Thank you so much, War Thunder. Tiger 1, heavy tank. Panzer IV, medium tank. Ironically, there's just 2. I don't know why they did that, but okay. Bf-109G2, fighter plane. Stuka B-1, dive bomber. Stuka B-2, dive bomber. Not bomber, dive bomber. There's a difference. Blenheim Mark 1F. I don't know what that means, but whatever. Bomber. Spitfire Mark VB, fighter. Well, that can be considered an attacker. It doesn't have a bomb load or a heavy ordnance, so it is more considered a fighter plane. And then the Spitfire Mark VA, fighter plane. No way around it, fighter. It's not labeled fighter, attacker, bomber, or light attacker, heavy attacker, bomber, or attacker, light bomber, heavy bomber. It's labeled according to what the plane is actually called. As far as I'm aware, I'm trusting that Battlefield 5 got their planes and tanks correct name-wise. It doesn't need, in my opinion, to say Panzer IV-B, Panzer IV-A, or whatever variant of the Panzer IV there was actually used, in my opinion. But the classes are balanced. You get killed, you get pissed off, whatever, grow up and handle it. If you unload a clip and a half into a person, okay, remember it's a beta. There are going to be bugs and there are going to be issues, and I do agree that sometimes when you unload 6 bullets into a face of an enemy, it's not fair and it's not realistic, but people don't realize that it's a hit point game. It's not going to be the most realistic. So when you unload, for example, 6 bullets of an STG into someone's face, if it doesn't kill them in that instance, what needs to be remembered is that the reason why it didn't kill them is because either you think you unloaded 6 bullets into their face, whereas you actually unloaded 2 or 3, or you actually did unload 6 bullets into the face. It just doesn't kill them because you didn't do enough damage. Because any bullet to the head or neck would, within reason, be a one shot. Bullet to the brain's going to kill you within minutes. Bullet to the neck's going to kill you within minutes. Obviously, if you're grazing any body part, you're not going to kill them, but you can bleed them out if it is a deep enough graze. Bullet to the jaw won't kill you, but if left untreated, it can become infected and kill you. Or you could bleed out. That's the thing, because hitboxes are so hard to program, or maybe they're not as hard, but the registration of movement of the hitbox can be difficult for a programmer to do. So people don't remember that, and when they start bitching about a game, they don't remember how hard it can actually be to program. Just an eyeball can be a few hours just to program one eye. Not the movement or anything, just the actual eye. I'm not an actual programmer. I'm learning to program because it's what I want to do. But I understand that it's not easy. I understand that, and in Rage, that's why I said earlier, no matter what I say or do in this match, this is my honest opinion. Because I know when I get mad, and when people get mad, they start blaming, and they start saying shit that is not how they actually feel, or it is how they actually feel, but it's just overdone in their voice. I like how you can see the actual tanks in the background if you look hard enough, like the tank in the background right there. That bitch has no gun. The fuck kind of gun is that? I'm kidding. Yeah, you can actually see the tanks in the background. But some people, and the planes, I just realized that. Some people just don't realize how hard it is, so that's why they do betas. That's why they do open betas, especially, because they're not sure if they got it right, and they want to make sure that they did get it right. So there are going to be bugs. You just don't get pissed off and just say this game's trash. Report the bug. If there's no in-game reporting function, go to customer support for the company or the developer and say, I noticed a bug in your game. Or go online, I'm sure there's a bug support center. You know? It is kind of aggravating to listen to people rage about how the game is, because people judge the game not on how the game is made, but on the player base. So people reviewing is going to be on the player base and how the player base interacts with the game and how the player base interacts with each other. But game review companies Like, the companies that review games review it on the gameplay functions, the functionality, and how it actually works, not on player on player. Sometimes they do player on player reviews, but it's mostly they have an unbiased opinion on how the actual gameplay works. So that's what the game reviews say. And now people get pissed off at the game reviews, saying, "You lied. I spend my money on this shit." It's a difficult world, especially considering hiring graphic developers costs so much. Just people don't realize why microtransactions are in games. People don't realize why games are buggy, and it is a pet peeve of mine to listen to people like that all the time. I don't mind every once in a while because, you know, you're pissed off. You gotta let it out. But listening to it over and over and over and over, shit talking, you know. I'll shit talk Infinite Warfare as much as I want because I don't believe the game's good, but I will admit that Infinite Warfare, develop-wise, was a good build. It was apparent that the campaign was the main function, but in my opinion, how the players abuse the multiplayer, and not abuse is just a term I use in general as using, because you can abuse the system in a bad way and you can abuse the system in a good way, because that's just how I use the terminology there. But how the players abuse the Infinite Warfare multiplayer doesn't make it fun. And how the zombies, it wasn't too bad. I just didn't like it because I liked other zombies a lot more. But I like how I'm reviewing Battlefield 5's game right now, and I'm ranting about like the actual complaints to the game devs. The game devs are like a popular YouTuber or a YouTuber with a lot of subscribers. They know how to take shit. They can take shit. Your shit talking to them don't do shit to them. The only thing it can do is give them feedback. It's not a negative feedback. It's just feedback to them. It's not because they're heartless. It's because they're used to it. So you complain and bitch about a class being so overpowered, they'll take it into consideration for the next patch. It's not you bitching to them and them conceding to your will. It's them realizing, oh, this class does feel a little too bit overpowered, and the base community, or the majority of it, agrees. Unfortunately, that does leave the minority, usually the players who use that class, saying, now this class is underpowered, what am I going to do? So if they were to nerf the recon class to all oblivion, then what will happen is shit. Now I don't know how to, I can't really, it's hard sometimes for players to adjust to a different class. I don't have that issue, and I've been told many times that I can adjust to different roles very easily and much quicker than other players that they've seen. So I don't have an issue with something like that. I may feel a little lost, say if I were a support main and I love my Bren gun. I will admit I love my Bren gun. I actually like how it's called Bren gun. That's weird. But then like the Bren gets nerfed. I think the way it could get nerfed is adding more recoil to it, because it is actually a pretty recoilless rifle when you lay down or you're crouching and the bipod is engaged. It barely has any recoil, and its damage is quite nice. Fire rate is a little bit slow, but it's not as bad as the FG42, because holy crap, less control, much higher fire rate. It can shred enemies up close when you're fighting them like that. But I would use the Bren for medium to long range engagements a lot more than the FG42. But that's the thing. You got to adjust to what you're going into, and people get pissed off because they bring the FG42 and they so happen to run into a, say, a assault or sniper, or not sniper, recon class at a longer range. If you got the FG42, what the fuck is on, what the hell? That's weird. Up by the A? That's fucking weird looking. But anyway, you're going to have a harder time taking him out, especially with the FG42. Unless, of course, I actually haven't looked into it. There is a few customization upgrade options that allow you to have less recoil. Yeah, right there. Less vertical recoil. That'll definitely help on the FG42. Ooh, bayonet charge. That's interesting. But people get pissed off and start bitching at the game because they're mad because they got engaged at a long range that they were not prepared for. And then sometimes people will swap up. So if you start going support all the time and you're getting obliterated by, say, a medic, some people will say, well, medic seems really strong, I'm going to swap to medic. So maybe they haven't used them yet. Now they're stuck with the Sten. And I'll say, the Sten, I've learned to adapt to the recoil, so I've gotten used to it. But someone that's never used the Sten before, they're going to have maybe a little bit harder of a time than someone who was using the Sten already. That's the thing that people don't take into account when they say, wow, that character's OP. It's not the character. Sometimes it is, yes, but most of the time, or not really even most of the time, sometimes it is just the player. The player knows how to use the character. And that's things that people don't take into consideration when they bitch about shit. Like, I understand that someone is definitely better than me out there with the Gear 43 or the M1A1 carbine. They're definitely better than me in that aspect with using the weapon. But I will say, I'll kick your ass if you come at me when I have my Bren. And even if I die, shit, I died, oh well. I'll come back and I'll kick your ass again. That's how I look at this game. I don't get pissed off because I die. And unfortunately, people do that and they start blaming the game. They start blaming the developers. I don't care if you get pissed off at the game and you're just pissed off and you stop playing it for a while or never play it again. But when people start blaming developers and people have put months of their time into developing, even if it's not even a masterpiece, just even the shittiest of games, it kind of hurts even when I say it myself. And if it's a joke, it's a joke. Okay. Certain jokes can't be used it so often. I really wish I could go back into the game because I'm kind of just hoping that if I talk long enough it would cancel, but it's not going to, so just really, people need to stop bitching so much to the developers about issues that don't exist. Like, the EMP is actually a pretty good rifle, or a submachine gun technically, for the medic class. But I don't hear anybody bitching about it because I haven't talked to too many people that have actually played the game. But that was a bad example. But I'm getting used to using the EMP. So once I get my attachments like quick deploy on, I'm actually going to start customizing this because it is rank 4 and that's usually when you can get all of your attachments on. I saved up fucking 10,000 credits and just upgraded 2 tanks and lost almost all of it. But as soon as I start doing shit like this, less vertical recoil, it helps me so much more. What the hell is that? Reduces accuracy penalty from firing hit fire, allowing you to fire longer. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Let me reread that because it still doesn't make any sense to me. Reduces the accuracy penalty from firing in hip fire. Okay. Allowing you to fire longer. That makes no sense. I think I'll actually get the more accurate hip fire once I get rank 5. But now I've got more upgrades on my EMP. That makes me more deadly because I know how to use this weapon. I can control the recoil a lot more than someone that doesn't know how to control and use weapon recoil off the bat, because obviously they won't be able to, because they just got the weapon or they just started using the weapon. It's going to be harder for them to control a weapon that they've never used. So then people bitch about that. Like, I can give you a prime example, so I stop bitching about other people and bitch about myself. It's such a good example too. War Thunder. Right back to it. I started off Britain, and I started getting pissed off at Germans right then and there, because Britain will never be tied with Germans in a realistic battle mode, which I only play realistic because tank arcades are kind of just stupid in my opinion, but for new players it can be helpful to help them learn range and whatnot, how to use the weapons. But I started getting pissed off there, and I was like, okay, I'm noticing a pattern up into tier 2 tanks. Britain's got no fucking armor at all. Like, they got no slope, they got no armor, and I just couldn't take it anymore, so I swapped over to America. Okay, America feels a little bit better, it's a little bit more controlled, still no armor, but I noticed that it got sloped armor a little bit quicker, and I had my goals of what I wanted to get a lot quicker, and I started using the fucking, oh my god, I think it was the M4A1 105, the fucking 105mm howitzer, where if you hit it, I kid you not, if you hit a mouse, or a mouse, from a certain angle with that 105, keep in mind this is a tier 2 tank and the mouse is a tier 5 tank, you can actually ammo rack and destroy the mouse in one hit if you get it right. Like, I don't know, that's insane to me. So I was like, I love this tank, I'm killing shit so quick, I'm loving it. And I started getting into tier 3 5.7 area. Every War Thunder player knows what's at 5.7, the dreaded Tiger 1. And the fed up moment I had, and I remember it to this day, is I was on a map, I don't remember the map's name, but I play it all the time, so it's kind of weird. And I was in my M18 CGMC, I do believe it is. And that's a tank destroyer, also known as the Hellcat for some players. I don't remember if it's actually the Hellcat is the M36 or the M18, but whatever. Because of that M18, I was pushed up in battle tier a lot higher because all my other tanks were still 4.0 area, and that one was a 5.3, I do believe. So I was bumped up. My other tanks can't support me, so I had to use the M18. And I'd always be up tiered because I'd always run into tigers. And I got a phone call. What? My phone's... I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, spam caller, like I thought. But I got fed up because 2 tigers rushed me. Whatever. I was behind cover behind a hill. I saw them coming. They knew where I was because I was already taking shots at them, so they rushed me. One fell a little bit behind because another person engaged him, so they stopped to try to engage. But I was more focused on the one that was still charging me. He came up the hill, and I realized now what happened, like only just just a few hours ago, I now understand why. I was firing APCR rounds, which is a very good round to fire. Very high penetration, better than an AP round. It didn't go in. I was hitting the frontal plate, which is about 101 to 110 millimeters of frontal armor. And it's not that sloped either, as I learned later. So its effective armor is about the same. But I realize now that he was coming at me at an uphill slope and I was shooting down at him, so it was slanted a little bit, so the shell did not penetrate because of that. But I was hitting the driver viewport, which to me was the weak point of the Tiger, and I was already at the time I was really pissy at the Tigers because they got under my nerves, and I didn't kill it. So I'm like, no, fuck this. I stopped playing America completely, and I swapped over to Germany. I got the Tiger H1. I'm like, great, let's use this bad boy. I was told use long-range engagements, so I don't do that all the time because I don't like trying to find the range counter. I'll explain that in a separate video, the guide to War Thunder, in my opinion. What I'm going to put in as my opinion for what settings should be on console. But I didn't always go long range. So when I died close range, I blamed it on the fact that I was close range, because I was told Tiger is good at long. So 88 centimeter gun, millimeter, 88 millimeter gun at long range, especially with how long the barrel is pretty effective. So I decided to start taking into long range engagements. When I really started getting pissed off is that I'm still kind of new to the Tiger. I don't use it anymore. I swapped over to Russia. Russian bias. But it's a prime example of what I've been talking about. Every time I'd go up against a Tiger, I fucking couldn't kill it. It always killed me. I can only remember 2 times that I've actually killed a Tiger, and it was always from behind at close range. Never once could I take out a Tiger at long range. And here I am in a Tiger now. I can't take anything out at long range, or I can take a few things out, but I would always be taken out at long range because I'm not adapted to the Tiger. I don't know how to use the Tiger properly. And you've got people who are much more skilled at taking out Tigers than I am. So I was pissed off about being taken out by a Tiger so much that I swapped over to a Tiger. And now I'm using the Tiger and I'm getting pissed off that I'm getting taken out so much. And I get really pissed off that no matter what, the Tiger ain't good, and yet when I'm not using it, it's God. So I get pissed off about that. It's a prime example of what I'm trying to make the point here of. You can't swap classes and immediately expect to be a god. Certain weapons in certain games, I will admit, are just easy to use. They're known by the community as the easy weapon. For example, STG. It's got a lot more recoil than people would expect, but once you learn to adapt to that recoil, you can be utterly destructive on the battlefield. So, yeah, now that I've rambled for probably twice as long as the actual video has been, I'd like to say my final words. I will say, again, I'm going to miss this game. I do believe a few days before November 20th, I will be streaming, and I will be streaming this game. I love this game. I expect a lot of content from it. And again, I would like to say that my channel is going to be used a little bit for advertising my milsim. So expect a few videos for advertisement. I already have one in mind. I just need to get the actors to do it. It is going to be a cinematic music video that in turn will be representing the 503rd HPB, as my milsim is called. HPB representing Heavy Panzer Battalion. Real life war battalion on the German Weimar or the Wehrmacht. It's Wehrmacht, yeah. You know what I mean. German army. It's a German armored division, or battalion technically, that housed one of the top tank aces, actually, for the German army in the Tiger 1. That's why I chose the name, and just expect a few videos on it, nothing too much, and I'll leave links to Twitter and website. Actually, I've gone through and made a website, a Discord, a Twitter, a community on PlayStation, chats on PlayStation. I'm all set. I'm ready for members. I'm getting people to start recruiting for members, and they're rolling in. We've got alliances. We've got a few not so enemy, but still pretty negative towards us people that might want to back off soon, because taking a look at the beta, at least, my assumption was correct. German weapons are very strong. Doesn't mean they're the strongest overpowered things in the game. Anything could take them out, but I know how to use them. That's one of the reasons why I've stopped playing Assault so much, because German weapons, I've already unlocked all of them. Those two are the German weapons. I do believe the Gore is a German-made semi-auto rifle. If it's not, whatever, I don't care. I'll be doing historical research on accuracy to see what is German and what is not. I don't know if the EMP is German or is not German. I do believe the Sten is German, but I'm not sure. French, actually. I'm not sure. Well, actually, that would explain the reason why it wasn't used so often in the war. Silent roasting. But MP40 is definitely German. And that's the reason why I want to rank up Medic to 10 so I can try it out. And then the Kar 98K, German-made weapon. I need to rank up Sniper to rank 10. And I just play support a lot, so, you know. I don't have any intention on actually trying the M30, but I may be trying it because it's just there. But yeah, send off for the game, this quick one-match stream. I might stream it one last time tomorrow for the send-off, the actual official send-off of the game. But other than that, my rant's over. Finally, I know. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy Battlefield 5's beta. Not necessarily my gameplay, but I just hope y'all have enjoyed it. Or if you haven't played it yet, get on it now, because it's going to be gone tomorrow and you might actually regret not playing it. I've actually heard a lot of people that were iffy about getting the game or actually don't like Battlefield say that, holy crap, this game's actually not bad, I'm going to have to order it or pre-order it. So, if you're one of those people, give the beta a chance. And yeah, I'll talk to you all later, maybe, or tomorrow.